This is The House That Happens, recorded live every weekend at Chewy's Bar and Grill, voted 4 times the best dive bar in the GTA, but I'd like to bet it's the best dive bar in the universe. I'm Andrew Milani, and I'm joined by the incredible, wonderful, colorful Cruz. Cruz, how you doing?
Not too bad.
Yeah, so a lot of people would say this is the dog days of summer. Not too many things to talk about, but we're going to find a few ways to get around that. We got a few things to say.
Can I say something first for that spectacular introduction? Do you know what I did not pay him to do that, anybody. I did not pay him to do it. Spectacular introduction to the show today, which has revived us up because, as you were pointing out, this is probably one of the deadest times during the year. So
they say.
And Mr. Milani is also coaching me properly as our producer to, Cruz, watch your microphone so when you do hear the show, it doesn't sound like the wind is blowing while I'm talking.
A little peek behind the curtain there.
Yeah, we got to do that. We're real at this show. We got to let them know, you know. And it is a slow time. There's certain things we'd like to shout out. For example, I'd like this congratulations to Mina Kimes. She is having a baby. Unfortunately, it's not mine. But congratulations to Mina Kimes. And I'm glad I get to bring her up because not just because she's having a baby, but she's one of my favorite sports analysts, especially when it comes to football. And I want to say favorite sports analyst and not add a gender to it because she's just great at her job. Her, Al Duncan, Katie Nolan, the retired Jackie McClellan. I like to just call them sports analysts because that's what they are regardless of their gender. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I love her podcast. You really turned me on to her, and I've been listening to her football podcast.
With her dog, Lenny.
Yeah, exactly.
With Lenny, yeah. She's really, really good. And she's informative. Yep. I'm wondering at the time, I don't know how she rolls numbers on it. When you see her on NFL Live, she just rolls numbers off her. I go, whoa, how did you know that?
Oh, she studies. She does her homework.
Oh, big time. And you say something, then you run back and I go, I'm going to change my bet. Especially during football season, she'll say something. A couple times she wasn't because she'll admit she'd made some things. And I said, I'm going to listen to Mina this week and go, you blew my parlay.
Well, she does have some biases, but I feel like she's pretty open about it.
Oh, 100%.
She admits that she's a Dak Prescott fanboy, whatever.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, she's that. And she, if you cut her open, Seahawks just pour out of her skin. We know that, so you can't say that. But anyways, congratulations on that. And to all the great sports analysts out here who are slugging away this week when it's been slower than usual. I would also like to say a big shout out, I don't know if you've seen it, to Pat McAfee and his intro to the ESPYs. Did you see it?
I did not.
Okay, well, I didn't watch
I'm not an award show person.
I'm not either. What my wife is, she watches every awards. If she says the Cockroach of the Year award, she flicks it on just to see what the musicians are or some stuff, okay? I don't know. But anyways, she happened to tape, and she says, I taped the ESPYs for you. So I had no idea what was going on with it. So I flicked it on, and there's Pat McAfee, and he was the host in the intro. I would say anybody go to YouTube.
Yeah, it's definitely on there.
Or whatever it is. It was very good. I'm not saying, I don't want to spoil it for anybody. I'm not saying he crossed the line, but he did go check it out. He did some dangerous jokes that I liked. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what a host should do at an award show.
Well, let's just
why is everyone going to be afraid to be slapped by Will Smith now? Is that where we're going?
Okay, but that's what I mean. And it's you don't have to know the jokes. You just have to know the people Kardashians were brought up. You know what I mean?
Was there a joke about Peyton Manning's forehead in there?
No. There was none of that. There was that. There was a couple of MME references, I believe, or things that get knocked out or whatever. I forget. I'm not going to ruin it. Just go check it for yourself. Pat McAfee, who is another guy with a great podcast, which is hilarious because he has exclusive rights to that bad man, Aaron Rodgers.
Now, I want to ask, who won Hockey Player of the Year? Was it McDavid or was it McDavid that would have won?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, McDavid won.
Because there's a part of me that thinks maybe it's American media, maybe they give it to Kachuk or something, but
yeah, no, that would be insane. Are you just come on?
I mean, it's the ESPYs. This isn't exactly the Hart Trophy.
Okay. So, anyways, to extend this just a little bit more, someone brought up back in the day 2 things that when I was bitching about Connor McDavid not getting and you say, so what, you young guy, so what? I came up twice, and I all went back to the Griffey days, where one year that Griffey had such a season in the regular season that he should have been unanimous. He missed by 1, and then he went into the Hall of Fame, and he missed by 1. And what they're saying is, you should not disrespect your credentials to a point where you're embarrassing yourself. Like, how could you put Connor McDavid, which came up, he was fifth on that. You're right.
Yeah,
he was fifth on that guy's ballot. So, right, guess what? You're fired. You're fired. That's it. That's an incompetent job. I don't care. If you had to put him second, like if you had such a hard on for Connor McDavid, you could put him second. But to not, come on, bro.
I don't know. I think we're splitting hairs here.
No, I'm gonna. Anyways, we're gonna keep the show moving. But I'm just.
I like that we got some weirdos with some weirdo opinions.
What? Don't talk to me.
The process worked. The right guy won.
Oh, of course it did. But I'm just saying on next level for like we're gonna bring up something else that just happened in a minute too. But one more thing I wanna before we roll into regular program that we should allude to, and sometimes we forget is that's what we're rolling the tape is. I want to thank. Before we go about Pat McAfee owning the rights to Aaron Rodgers, I think you're going to get your wish because did you hear Hard Knocks has announced that they will be in the New York Jets training camp this year? And you called it basically. Didn't you say last week? You go, wouldn't that be just a shit show because nobody wanted it?
Did I say that?
I think wasn't you that said it? I'd have to look around and check the tape.
I don't think I said that. The news has come out. The New York Jets are going to be on Hard Knocks this year, much to Aaron Rodgers' dismay.
Oh.
But you can't say no to that. You can't say no to Hard Knocks. I guess that's the rule.
Yes, And they're rolling around almost every team now, so it can't be doing that. But I don't know, maybe it was somebody else I was talking to sports with. But anyway, when they said that, wouldn't it be great? And the rumors started rumbling, of course, coming up like, who's going to go? Who's going to go? Well, this drama, it's New York City. It's a new team, and it's Aaron Rodgers. And guess what? Athabasca for everyone? Is that the word?
Oh, ayahuasca?
I don't know. And I've done some funny things in my life, but I haven't done that one. You know what I mean?
No.
Good luck to Hard Knocks. You know what I'm saying?
Good luck to Hard Knocks. A shout-out to our ladies. Women's World Cup starts this week.
Yes.
They have their first match Friday, 10:30 p.m. Eastern time against Nigeria.
Oh, that'll be a bit of a battle.
Yep. I'm looking forward to this. The women, like that FIFA, the Women's World Cup is like that only notch on their belt that they're missing. They got the Olympic gold medal finally.
That's true.
But like that World Cup, that's like that one last thing that they need. And like this is their chance. Opposite side of the bracket of the state, so it could build up to the Canada-U.S. final. I'm looking forward to this. Love Christine Sinclair. Love our love our Reds. Let's go.
Yeah, big shout out to Christine Sinclair and leading the team and how people are talking about it. I think it's going to be I hope it's a great tournament anyway. But I don't think it's any surprise that the Americans are on one side and the Canadians on the other. Like that's
but it's a random draw, Cruz. You don't trust the FIFA process.
It's okay. Before we leave FIFA, I want to ask you your question. Do you think the city of Toronto should be footing the bill for the World Cup games for the men coming up?
What I don't understand is why aren't the province or the federal government pitching? Why is this all on the city?
Because it's a vanity project.
Why isn't MLSE chipping in?
It's a vanity project.
You
know what it is?
No, but you don't bid as a city. You bid as a country.
Okay, all right. So then, but it still becomes a vanity project unless, you know what, they're going to kick in. Olivia Chow is going to cry her little eyes out and get down there and give us a little doggy bow. And I'm saying you should, but here's my take on the matter. When I first heard this, and I think we might have talked about it last year if we checked the tapes, I was a little skeptical about it because what games are we getting?
We're getting like, what, 4 or 5 games?
But who's playing? Me and you state. We're not getting Argentina and Brazil. We're not getting Spain versus England.
We got a knockout game, though.
Do we get a knockout game?
Yeah, we do. We get one.
Oh, we get one knockout game. And
I believe it's a quarterfinal matchup.
And then we get Costa Rica against Uruguay. Or Costa Rica against
I would watch that game.
Okay, so that's my point. So you're going to say the games are going to sell out anyway? Automatically.
They should.
Okay, because we already discussed this. They open up BMO to 40,000.
Yes.
Okay, all that. So you automatically going to sell out. So here's the question. When you have these events, and this is the other events that go on in the city, and that's where they continue to have them, the Toronto International Film Festival, Pride Weekend, Parade, what's the other one now? Illuminati. What else am I missing?
Caravana,
South by Southwest or North by Northeast, whatever it is. They have all of these things in Toronto because the city puts up so much money with the belief that it's going to draw enough revenue through hotels, restaurants, buying power. You know what I mean? It draws enough money into it. And my question is, if we're going to pay for these games, but they see what happens with the city, and this is why the provinces are like, people don't look at this side of it. If the city makes money, are they going to give money back to the province or to the country? No. They're going to put it right in their pocket. So that's the gamble. That's a question in Toronto, as people are saying, if you're going to put up this much money, are you going to get your money back?
That's the problem.
You know what I mean? Now, if it was something else, we're gonna talk about on Sunday night, but we'll get to that.
Now, I don't live in Toronto, so this doesn't affect me nearly as much as this affects you.
You're a GTA guy, though. So you're a GTA guy.
Yeah, but Vaughn ain't fronting the bill.
That's true. You got a point there. But that's what I mean then. Like, you got a good point. If everyone's going to put it in. But I know the question is this. Is the revenue drawn in by having the event through gratuities at hotels, restaurants, souvenirs, local stores, blah 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 blah. Et cetera. You know what I mean? Is it going to be worth it? Now, if it was some kind of other events, I would say yes. Like, if Bruce Springsteen's playing 2 nights at the Dome, everything around there is going to be hopping for 2 nights. So bring in Bruce Springsteen and pay him what he wants. That kind of deal. So I hope it is worth it, but I'm not really sure. You know what I'm saying?
One can hope. Also, I want to shout out, so we have the 2023 FIBA, that's for Basketball Men's World Cup this summer. Canada is in Group H with Latvia, Lebanon, and France. So, I mean, that could be a bit of a tough group there with France. But, I mean, you look at some of the players that have already committed for Canada. I'm going to
shout them out, please.
Yes, I will. Here we go. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jamal Murray, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Corey Joseph, Dylan Brooks, Lou Dort, RJ Barrett, O'Shea Brissett, Kelly Olynyk, Dwight Powell, and Zach Edey.
And you know what that just tells me? We're good enough that we don't even need Jonathan Bennett. Which we were going to bring up on our bust show one day.
Anthony Bennett.
Yeah. When I say Jonathan Bennett.
Who's Anthony Bennett? Jonathan
Bennett. That's how good he is. I can't even say his name out. Shout out to Andrew Wiggins, though. I hope that he's clearing up whatever it is that was going on in his life that cost him some time in the NBA this year, because he is the only obvious omission on this team. But hey, family first guy, good luck with all of that. But I'm shouting out to all the guys that are taking their personal time to finally show up. Like, I'm not going to say we're going to win it all, because it's the Americans that lose every time. We know that.
Sure.
But I'm going to tell you now, with that lineup on the floor, we've got some grit, we've got some bang, we got some shooters. You know what I mean? And I will be paying more. I always watch it anyway, but I'll be watching it even more. You know what? Especially since we got Shai out there. And if Shai has a good night, he can be the best player on the planet.
Yeah, and if you have DAZN, I believe it's on there as well. So
I got to get DAZN again. I got to pay for that. It's still got the football, right?
Of course. That's the only reason to really get
there. Because I paid $200 last year, but I'm going to get it on my thing, because that's going to be coming up soon. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Any other house cleaning you want to get to before we dive into baseball?
No, there was. What am I missing now? I'm thinking something off the top of my head that I'm going to look at.
There was one thing in the show notes, but I think we're going to save that for the end.
Yes, okay.
The 4-letter.
Yeah. We're gonna say that. I just want to do a shout out to, and I want to say her name right, Marketa Vondrousova, who is the first. She won Wimbledon. She is the first unseeded player to win the Wimbledon in the Open era.
Wow, congratulations to her. That's crazy news.
That's what I'm saying. I think that we should bring it up that this is historic, actually. I thought Sabalenka was going to win it, but she unraveled against this girl named Jabbar, who I didn't really know her this well. And this is the first time I've seen this Vondrousova play. I think she's for real. She's still like mid-20s or whatever, but she was hitting the ball like a champ. I did actually watch the quarterfinals and semifinals of this, believe it or not, late night. You know my setup. I hit the record and I come home and see what's happening on Wimbledon. So congratulations to an unseeded ladies champion, Marketa Vondrousova, from, where is she from again? Finland?
Czech.
Isn't she Czech? Yeah, wherever the case. Congratulations. And of course, we're going to, the Joker is going to be going for his, continue his GOAT list tomorrow.
Yeah, going for another Wimbledon title. Put him into true GOAT contention. One more thing I want to get to.
Oh, me too. Good.
Have you seen the video of the WNBA three-point contest from last night?
No.
Sabrina Ionescu, she got 37 points. She just went off.
Really?
It was
She's a good shooter, though, normally, but that's a crazy number.
Oh, she was red hot. It was insane. Kidding. My buddy that shared it in our group chat just labeled it as pure filth.
Oh, yeah. There's nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely not.
I don't mind a little dirt anyway. But we got one more cleanup, and I think you're going to like this because you brought me down this road. And I'm loving it more by the second. But once again, Max Verstappen
Yep.
Won another race. This guy is so goddamn cocky. Did you see him chase him down when McLaren got ahead of him?
Oh, yeah, Lando.
He was like a wolf. He said, "You got ahead of me?" And he chased him down and then had the audacity to call the house and said, "Might as well get the fastest lap." I just went and then walked onto the interview thing and saying, "What else did you expect?" This guy is unbelievable. Best villain. Does that make him a villain?
I don't know. I mean, to some people he's like a heel. Sometimes to some people he's not.
His skill level's next level. Let's get that.
Oh, he's the best driver in the best car.
Okay,
which equals dominance in F1, which is what we're seeing. It's
it's
2004 Michael Schumacher, 2012 Sebastian Vettel.
This is insane. But I mean, what gets me is I'm starting to sound like a Max Verstappen fan. I just
Which you are.
Okay. The guy comes in and just whips it out. He doesn't care. Anywhere he wants, like, "Hi, I'm Max." Boom.
What's the line from Moneyball where it's like this guy walks in the room, his dick's already been in there for like 3 minutes?
Yeah, exactly. Especially like when he walked up to, I forget her name, and they do the checkered flag thing after. Like, he just walked in like, "Where's my chair?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I go, "Yeah, got it." There's a certain amount is moxie, and then there's people take it as a certain amount of, it's a bravado. But I mean, if I'm in his position, as Kid Rock, his famous line says, "It ain't bragging if you're doing it." You know what I'm saying? So big shout out to Max. Another thing is, though, the guy who's been the talk of F1 when I first started watching this, and he's still around, and you have to respect his driving because he doesn't have the good car and is showing his skill, is Lewis Hamilton. Yes. I mean, despite the situations he's been in with his car, Mercedes, right? He's a Mercedes guy.
He's a Mercedes guy.
He still climbs up to that podium or close when he's not looked at as a guy that's supposed to be there. What did he come in as? He was at 6. He started 6 this time?
Yeah.
And he started 7th the week before, and he made the podium runs? Or he's close there anyway.
He's up there in the championship as well this year.
Yeah, he's climbed back into the ride. He's like, no one's going to catch Max. There's no, that's over. That's done.
Max and like Red Bull for constructors. I think that's a done deal.
Even though I didn't understand when you were telling me about the second seat at Red Bull, always seems to be contaminated with something. And look at Perez; he just can't.
He's been crumbling.
Huge.
So he was basically like top 2 every race up until Miami, but then Monaco 16th place, Spain 4th, Canada 6th. Austria, he got on podium. He was 3rd, but then at Silverstone last weekend, another 6th place. He just crumbled. I don't know. Qualifying has been a big issue with him. He can't get out of Q1, which is just like...
Oh, that's what... Yeah,
I don't know. Like Silverstone, the thing that killed me was like the track was getting faster and faster as it went on, but he went out for his lap early, which just made absolutely no sense.
How come he went out early?
Why?
Yeah, why do you think he went out early?
I think he's just in his own head. He's like, I got to get my lap in. That's my theory.
You know more than me, but that's interesting.
Because Max was content to wait around. Red Bull, I wouldn't be surprised if Red Bull was telling him to wait, but Checo's probably just like, I want to go.
Wow. Anyways.
And then Lewis Hamilton is 4th place in the Drivers' Championship right now. He is not too far back of Alonso for 3rd.
And considering he had that rough start, Mercedes had that rough car start.
Yeah. I mean, he had like... Those Mercedes guys aren't exactly... actually, Russell's only been on podium 1. Lewis has been on there 4 times.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. That's considering what position he's been in there, I'm going, whoa, you know?
And should we talk about the driver replacement?
Who's it going to be?
Your buddy, Daniel Ricciardo, just took over the 2nd seat at AlphaTauri. Now,
no way.
Yeah, it's Nick DeVries, he's gone.
Oh, so Ricciardo gets another ride, eh?
Yeah. So I think
my buddy.
If Perez keeps up this streak that's on, it's Tsunoda and Ricciardo basically competing for that 2nd seat at Red Bull for next year.
Exactly. So Ricciardo has a good run here. He could be back in the 2nd Red Bull seat next year. He should never have left. If just that Max bullied him, and who's got the better... I'm a Moxie now. You know what I mean? Like, Ricciardo was the man.
For at that point, Red Bull,
but he got all weird. I think what fucked him up. Excuse my language. Is that whole show, because we never had any.
Well, also seeing Max coming up behind you in your rearview mirrors, so to speak. I think that weighs on you.
You should say, "I'm just as good." Like, you know what I mean? You should be.
Well, I mean, the team wasn't exactly like in his corner the whole time there either.
Yeah, but then he started questioning shit too.
Well, I mean, wouldn't you?
No. I'm saying I'm the man until I'm not the man. That's what you gotta do.
When Christian Horner's starting to go like, we like you, but we like him a lot more.
Okay, it's like when you play baseball, okay? Like you come along and like in my younger days, I'm coming along and I'm playing a lot of shortstop, third, and pitching because I'm under 40. Okay?
Okay.
Now I get around 40 and so on. There's a couple guys that are joining the team. Maybe it's time to Cruz moves over to second base. Doesn't have the arm he used to have. You know what I mean? Not quite the speed. Why can't I hit fifth instead of first?
But that's not exactly an apples-to-apples comparison because there's only one driver's championship. And if you're second place on your own team in F1, like it's not a comfortable place to be.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
no, because your biggest rival is your teammate in F1.
Okay, I agree with that. But, I mean, can't you be teammates and you get a constructor? Like, look at, okay, so they're driving
the same. No one cares about the constructor. I mean, okay, like the team does, but if you're a driver, it's like.
So you're saying to me that Perez is driving exactly the same car as Max, correct?
Maybe, maybe not.
Okay, so that's what then.
I think he's running a different setup is the word on the street.
Okay, so that means what's the other Mercedes guy?
George Russell.
Oh, yeah, I like George Russell a lot. Anyways, I do. I just like, because he's just a schmuck.
He's one of those guys, like, he's coming through, like, he's got, like, his commentary. He's already auditioning for, like, his post-career commentary job.
No doubt. He's got the look, the hair, the whole 9 yards.
What was he saying about Lando? He's like, oh, they're doing well in the hards. Impressive. It's like.
Oh, yeah. Okay. He's already there. But the fact is, like, I'm saying, they have the same car, don't they?
Yeah, I'd imagine.
I would say same thing at Ferrari, Leclerc, and what's his name? They got the same. Yeah, they got the same. They're supposed to have the same car. Then it's come your ability to drive the car. I just think Max is a great driver, and it's in his lineage. And it's like, when was he 17? The first time he was allowed to drive a F1 car.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
He didn't even have his driver's license yet.
Yeah, right. And he was allowed to drive an F1 car. Come on. And anyways, I'm just shouting it out there because at the house that happens, we do two things. We keep our eye on F1 and always keep tabs on the Habs, but we'll get to that later. In any event, let's get back to some baseball talk here. You're going to give a congratulations to somebody?
Yeah, Vladdy winning the home run derby.
How fun was that?
I mean, I didn't watch, but.
Okay, I watched a bunch of it, and it was a whole bunch of fun. We were out for beers, and I went to watch it. I thought the moment that I mostly got out of it when you seen Gurriel and Vladdy hugging and hamming it up. It looked a lot like the Blue Jays dugout last year. Is somebody upstairs not liking that kind of thing going on in the dugout? And can I say maybe that thing going on in the dugout would have led you farther ahead than you are right now? Just saying, okay, Toronto Blue Jays, who still have not got a regular second baseman, who still have not got a regular left fielder, and there's a sign, and I'm hoping that he's okay.
Well, we have a regular left fielder. He's just not very good.
Who's that?
Varsho.
Then we should have put left with Gurriel. I would take Gurriel's sketchy defense with his bat, because Varsho has been better defensively, but has he been
marginally?
There you go. So I'm saying, and we gave up Marino. See, Marino hit the home run the other night to win the game. Just before the All-Star break.
He hit a home run last night, too, against the Jays.
And he hit one last night against the Jays. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we gave up both of these guys under 25.
Oh, it's a disaster.
Is Gurriel's 25 or 26?
He's around, right around there.
He's the youngest of the brothers, and they said he was the best 2 years ago. Everyone said he's the best hitter in the family, and he was one of the best hitters in the country. Mm-hmm. And we give him up for Varsho, who's basically a fire hydrant?
I want to know who was that scout that was,
doesn't have a job.
Oh,
fired.
He shouldn't.
He's fired.
Who's this guy that was banging home the Varsho drum? I don't get it.
But you know what? We tried to in the beginning. Just remember, we said he's a left-handed punch playing in a smaller arena than he did it playing in Arizona. So we thought that power would equate to 30 home runs. It still may, but I'm not liking
30?
It. How many's he got now? 15, 14, 13? I don't
think
he's got 30. Okay, and guess what? He's a guest hitter, so he's getting killed because they always say that coming from the National League to the American League is harder. I don't know. I think because it's interleague play, shouldn't it be the same about now?
Yeah, I don't know if I completely
buy that.
flies
anymore.
Yeah,
Back in the day, I used to because American League was more of a junk pitching and National League was more fireball. But I think that's a long wash. That's gone with the dodo bird. However, what I'm saying is that this Varsho guy has, like, I made jokes last year. Remember about Gurriel and Tosca Hernandez?
Sure.
I'm on tape saying not good. I apologize, guys.
The hair jokes.
Oh, yeah, I know that. But I still say his hair is purple now or whatever color it is. I don't want to say the color that I've used previously when we're talking about the Arizona Diamondbacks concerning red. Remember? Okay.
Oh, God, yes.
So
let's leave that with the dodo bird as well.
That was a Freudian slip. You know what I mean? I told some other people about that, and they said that's new generation thing. See, when we were kids, we wouldn't even think about like saying something like that. But it was a complimentary statement.
It ain't so complimentary
No,
now.
it doesn't say now because the whole world has changed and it's got softer. But that's my point being is that if our show shouldn't be, I think that what happened is we should call out a platoon and make Kiermaier and Varsho have to platoon in center field. Merrifield stays every day in left field. Thank God Merrifield going to the All-Star game, having a solid season. And his defense.
I would not. Wait, who do you want to platoon?
I want to platoon Kiermaier or whatever his name is in center field. Him and Varsho.
They're both lefties, though.
Oh, that's right. He's a lefty, so we can't. Oh, that's failing.
Yeah.
Okay, but anyways, I think that when you're going to rotate guys on one day, you play whatever. Springer, let the guy relieve Springer in there, and Springer can be DH a day. But Merrifield stay there at second base. Biggio can float out there. Biggio's really not a second baseman. Just because his dad did doesn't mean he is.
Yeah,
He's too big.
I never got that. Why he keeps getting opportunities.
I don't know. That makes sense. So who do we put at second base?
Leave Merrifield there.
No, you
Espinal?
No, Bichette. Go over to second and put Espinal at short. How many times am I going to tell you that?
I mean, I would love that too, but that's a pipe dream.
When you see Espinal playing on the infield, he looks like he was born there. Even when Merrifield and Bichette are there, they look chunky as a combo. If you know what I mean by chunky, they don't like have that old school Ozzie Smith to Barry Larkin where those guys were, those are Whitaker, that Trammell kind of nonsense. I don't see any of that going on with this infield. And then they make the bad error, or Bo can't get the one in the hole, or Bo can't make the throw from the hole. Not knocking you, Bo, because you're having a great season. I think he's our best player.
I agree.
His defense is what scares me. Don't you agree?
No, I agree. We've talked about it, like going like side to side, getting that throw to first base. It's not as automatic as it should be. So
where's your stance on our playoff position as a Toronto Blue Jay fan?
Oh, status quo. It's not good.
Okay. We're the house that happens. Buried in the heart of North Etobicoke, saying that we are skeptical about our Toronto Blue Jays. Joey Votto's having a good laugh right now. You know what I mean?
Oh, I bet he is.
And another thing about the Blue Jays is as we continue on, and we should be talking about it because the trade deadline's coming up very soon, is the fact that even our pitching staff now, is Jordan Romano, I don't understand that injury he got in the All-Star game. I think it's interesting that you think, and we've talked about this earlier, is Swanson going to be the closer?
He could get an opportunity here. I don't think Romano has been put on the DL, so it's obviously not going to be a significant injury. But, I mean, could open up an opportunity for Swanson. The Jays won by 5 runs yesterday, so that opportunity didn't really present itself.
Exactly. And I'll take it to part 2. Once again, it was a 2-1 game, and the Jays weren't hitting again, and they scored 5 runs in the 7th or 8th inning. I forget, and everyone goes, oh, we got 5 runs. Did you see that comedy of errors that the Arizona Diamondbacks provided us with? So we were able to score the 5 runs. What was it, 2 errors in the inning?
I believe so.
And one of those freaking balls that landed in Never Land. It was just one of those.
Yeah, 2 errors.
Yeah, 2 errors in the inning right there. And a ball that, one of those drop-in hits. Like seeing eye single. Yeah. So you had 2 errors, a blue single, a walk, and I think there was a walk. So it was just one of those innings that, and don't be surprised if, I hope not, because today we don't, who's our starter? Is it going to be Bassett?
So it was supposed to be Gosman, but he's experiencing some left side discomfort, they're saying, so it will be Bassett. They're just going to move him up a day.
Okay, and he's had the rest anyway. Can I say one thing about Bassett? Don't think, buddy, just throw. Just throw the goddamn ball. So that means Kurt's going to be catching him because he needs someone holding his hand. And Kurt can't even hit his weight these days. So there's another bat out of the lineup. Oh, have they announced the lineup yet? Let's take a look to see what we got. Okay, let me get a guess because it's a Saturday. Do we give Springer the day off and make him DH? We're just after the All-Star break, so it's only second game. So no, Springer, get your ass out there. So Merrifield should be in left. We're going to get Biggio.
No lineups announced yet.
We'll look at it later. I'm predicting that Biggio's at second base today.
No way.
Why not? It's a Saturday.
I mean, I hope not.
I hope not either. Like, I'm going, come on. I want to see Bo at second base. Can we start at the house that happens? We want Bo to be your second baseman.
Yeah, I do too, but okay. I think that's a pipe dream.
In any event, we're not knocking the Blue Jays because we want playoff baseball here, and we're going to continue to say if we miss the playoffs this year, it's a disaster for the Blue Jays.
Yes, it is.
In the event that...
all that hype, all this money being spent, like, come on.
How much would you give up to get Ohtani?
Oh, my God. The sun, the moon, my left nut.
Okay, then that's going to come up because the first rumor has finally arisen out of La La Land that now the Los Angeles Angels may finally be calling in for Ohtani.
Well, sure, they don't want to lose him for nothing.
Well, so he's good for next year, right?
I believe so.
And then he has to be re-signed. Apparently, if they're talking like that, Ohtani's people must have said something to him in Japanese or Korean. He's Korean.
He's Japanese.
Okay, whatever the case may be. Whereas I'm turning Japanese. I really think so. Okay? You don't even know that song.
I do know that song.
Oh, okay. That's cool. In any event, it's interesting that he's suddenly becoming on the market. And I'm saying,
sure.
what are you going to say? Is he going to be the first guy that gets a contract with a B?
A bill.
That's what I'm saying, a bill.
That's an interesting conversation because, like, I think we've gotten into this a little bit before. There's no precedent
of this
for, like, contracts for a guy like this.
What's the biggest contract in the league right now? Judge, $300 million, right? 350. Yeah. Okay. I'm saying he gets half a bill. You can't give a guy a bill.
No,
you can't, because we're going to get back to another thing that you sent to me when you were talking about baseball. Is that they are layoffs imminent at one of the biggest sports extravaganzas in the country, correct?
Sorry?
Didn't you say there's layoffs imminent? Except for Friedman, didn't you give me?
Oh, for hockey, yes. At Sportsnet, that's true.
It's okay. So once I keep saying, and we've talked about it before, when you see that part of the structure start getting to peel away, it's got to come back to sponsors and contracts eventually. So when you're just seeing those two things happen, doesn't Disney own? No, who owns the Angels? That guy? No, it's that separate.
It's So the Disney.
That guy's got more money than money.
Yeah,
but
let me look up his name quickly.
Is that
Arturo Moreno?
Oh yeah, Moreno. Yeah, he's got more money than money. But the bottom line is maybe because this is the first time I've heard it this week, where they're entertaining offers for Ohtani at this. What's the trade deadline's what? August 4th, August 8th, or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So in any event, have you ever heard until now anybody talking about Ohtani being on the trade market?
There was whispers last year around this time too, weren't there?
Maybe,
yeah,
but I think what's really is the thing is now that Trout's hurt again.
So they think they got no shot at the playoffs, basically?
Yeah, they're falling down, which is good for the Blue Jays because that's one of the teams that they were fighting with to get in the playoffs. And I'm not sure
the Angels weren't going to make the playoffs.
I didn't think so either. But what's the Houston's the other team we got to worry about, and how are they doing? They seem to be. Their balancing act is not too good. And now that the Yankees have fallen to last place in the American League East, are they deader than we believe? I'm not. Are you? The only thing that pisses me off about the Yankees being in last place is that the Red Sox aren't in last place.
The Red Sox are pretty hot right now. It's winner of 6 in a row.
But I don't think. I think that what are they behind us though? They're still 2 behind us in the loss column. I agree.
Yeah, 2 games back.
Yeah, okay, so guess what? I don't think they've got enough pitching to be there. They've just did a little bit of slugging, got everybody excited.
Well, they've gotten a lot of help from our friends the Blue Jays as well.
Oh, don't even bring that up, because if we get to the end of the seasons and we get to tiebreakers and all kinds of stuff, it's going to be, and I say it all goes back to, I don't care what anyone says, it all goes back to when we beat them, what was it, 24,000 to
25 to 1.
Whatever. And then there was a dancing in the dugout and the extra celebration at 18, and that's when Bo sat. And I remember that night because Bo Bichette's never been about that extra. His old man, Dante, was a freaking old school ball school guy. And I seen it, and I never forget that game because when it got to 17-0, and then the party started in the dugout, I went, payback's a bitch.
We're getting a little bit off track here. I want to get back to Ohtani. So,
yes.
Or I guess just trade deadline in general from the Jays' perspective. So there's talk of the Jays targeting Nelson Cruz. I'd say if this was 10 years ago, I'd love that. But now
No, and I'm a Cruz. Nelson, we love you. Stay in your own freaking area code. I
hated him when he played with Baltimore, by the way.
I did too. Me too. I'm not just because he played for Baltimore was enough for me. You know what I'm saying? But I thought it was interesting that they're talking about the left-hander from St. Louis, Montgomery, as being a potential starter to be picked up by Toronto. He's 30 years old. He's on an end of his contract. He's had 29 starts since he got claimed.
Pitcher you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Since he got from last year, St. Louis picked him up from the trade deadline from where? Kansas City or one of those teams, Detroit or somewhere. I can't remember. But in any event, he's there. He's 30 years old.
They picked him up from the Yankees.
Was he Yankees? Okay, so now he's going to be, and he's a free agent. So you know they're going to dump him anyway. And is he a viable because he's a lefty?
Is he a
starter? He's 12-9, I think, right now. Something like that.
Do we need another starter, though?
What's that? I'd take all the starters I can going in the playoffs.
Oh, I thought you weren't for a 6-man rotation.
No, but I just want them in the dugout just to throw the ball. They're not starting.
So what are they doing?
What's that?
What are they doing then?
Good. Maybe we get, when the playoffs come, I'm going there, when we got an extra lefty in the bullpen.
No, then I'd rather pick up a reliever then.
No. I'll take him because at the end of the year, when we go to next spring training camp.
Yeah, but you're going to have to, if it's a starter, you're going to have to pay a lot more for that at the deadline. I don't think that makes sense.
Well, let's see what's happened. I mean, I think that this guy's going to make money exponentially because he's in the right place at the right time.
I'm not talking in terms of cash. I'm talking about in terms of like
players,
prospects.
Right, prospect. Okay, I think you might have to a little overpay for him. But, okay, so now we got the owner of the Mets saying, we've got issues. So what happened? I'm not touching a Verlander at all. I love Verlander.
I agree.
I'm an old Detroit guy, but you're going to touch anything for this guy? No. They're not all Tom Brady's.
No, but the Jays need a bat.
Oh, of course they need a bat, but I never turn down pitching if you get the opportunity. That's my credo.
I think the Jays should focus on a lefty reliever instead of a lefty starter.
Well, you know what? I'm going to reach that for the next show because off the top of my head, I would I can't think of anybody. However, you know when you start the baseball games and they screen and they always show the lineups? Because you know me and watching MLB and regional coverage, the beginning of games, it could be the White Sox, Milwaukee, whatever. I always look at what their bench looks like. And a lot of times is one of the things lacking in the league is left-handed pitching. Around the league, everybody's looking. Now,
well, that's always been at a premium.
Oh, yeah, but now it seems to be even more. So as we're talking about this, I want to throw something in there really quick there that another thing, because after All-Star break, and we got a little bit of dead space here, where do we put in, I heard an interesting stat, and I think these stats are all getting at a line now. Like 10, 20 years ago, we'd bring them up and go, oh, that's pretty cool. But they said that Atlanta, 10 games before the All-Star games, had their total of home run, RBIs, hit, batting average, and stolen bases on a 10-game stretch was the biggest in the history of baseball. That's more than those 20 Yankees teams, the Big Red Machines, the Yankees in the 50s, the A's, the Bash Brothers, all of those teams. Now, what to me is the anomaly is this. They added the stolen base onto it. So all these teams had numbers that were comparable in all the other offensive stats. But then they add the stolen bases, and now we got a track meet going on. So you know what I mean? Like if Jackie Robinson or Ricky Henderson or Lou Brock was playing with these rules, how many bases would they steal? How many Ricky would be stealing now?
I don't know.
200?
I don't know about that.
Okay, you got to understand one thing because you didn't see enough about this because stolen bases kind of got...
Yeah.
They kicked it to the curb in your time.
We're getting a little bit off track here because I want to keep it with the Blue Jays and trade deadline.
Okay, all right. Anyways, I'm getting back there about the stat is that when I heard this stat about when teams get these new numbers that represent what's going on today, I think the numbers are getting jaded. You know what I mean? When I hear something like that, oh, this team did this and this team did that, because I'm going to get my point to get back to where we are is that the Jays are still a shitty hitting team.
Sure.
There's only 13 guys hitting 300 in the whole league. So that means that pitching is getting better than we really needed it. So if I'm the Toronto Blue Jays, I'm still going after more pitching.
Sure.
Anything, you know what I mean?
But I mean, you're gonna at the price it's gonna cost. I don't think it's gonna be worth it. Like what? Just to put a guy to have him on the bench?
No, I'm saying if you get into the playoffs and I think some of these rules are going to be bent. Like they're going to go back a little bit more old school. So you're going to say,
what do you mean?
You don't have to go to the three. You can.
No, we're not going back from like having to pitch to three batters. That's That's the way it's going to be.
For the playoffs and everything, you don't think they're going to alter it? They said there could be some adjustments still.
What do you mean? We've been going with this. It's been a rule for already like a bunch of years.
What's that?
Having to pitch the 3 batters.
No, not really. It's only been there. How long has it been?
Oh, at least like 3-4 years now.
I don't think it's been that long.
Yeah.
Has it?
Yeah.
I'd like to check that out.
Maybe even like 5-6.
No,
this rule's
not
been
that
around
long.
a long time.
No, I'd like to check that. Please check that.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm going back for more arms because I want to go back to that. I'm not all about this new age. You can only do this. You can only do that bullshit.
Well, I mean, sports always change, Cruz. Like, I mean, you have
no.
It's just a set of arbitrary rules. Like, I don't get like why I get so bent out of shape about something.
Because if I want my guy to want to go out and get you out, then he runs out and gets you out. You're done.
These rules were put into effect for the 2019 season. This is the 5th season of these rules.
19, 20, 21, 22. Yeah, you're right. I still want to go back. You're right. Maybe it's never going to change.
It's a pipe dream.
Okay, so anyways, you did bring up something interesting. You're right, and I don't want to get too far away. Sorry for stranding. But remember, we're going to do a show talking about these numbers that way because I think they're all screwed or squared. But anyways,
I'm sure some guys were saying that like in the 50s and 60s. And
when they lowered the mound, I bet you people were a little pissed.
There you go.
But I mean,
I think people were really pissed.
I'm saying it was going on. I was too young to get it at the time. I'd like to have seen Roger Clemens pitch off that mound. But I thought you brought up an interesting person. Go back to the trade deadline. I thought you brought up. I'm going to let you bring his name up. That you thought
Cody Bellinger.
Cody, you caught me off guard with that one. You know what do you think the realistic possibility is, though?
I mean, I think he could get traded. Like, why not? I mean, the Cubs are going nowhere fast.
Do you see his contract? I don't think that should be a matter for the Blue Jays.
No, it shouldn't be.
And he's having a solid year. But I heard he loves it at Wrigley Field.
He could love it here in Toronto, too. It's fine.
Going to Wrigley Field every day to play baseball and going to the Dome every day to play baseball. Come on, bro. let's get to the chase.
He's only on a 1-year deal, so
he's
going to be a
1
free
year?
agent this summer, yeah.
That's interesting then because maybe we could give him the money too.
Well, hold on. So there's an option for next season, a mutual option.
Okay, so what's going to go on here? The only problem was that we have Chapman at third base. So where are we going to put him? That's the question.
Bellinger, put him in the outfield.
Okay, so then
take away that bum Varsho.
Okay, then we'll have a
and then you could have a situation where Varsho he can play left field and Bellinger DHs that day.
What do we do with Kiermaier then? He stays there?
He stays in center field.
You want to keep him there consistently? What's he hitting now?
270.
He's still hitting that much?
He got a couple hits last night too. Or he was 1 for 3 with he was 1 for 3 last night, hitting 270.
How many at-bats does he have?
He has...
Because I think he's... they
222.
And what's the average on our team? That's I think because Vladdy's what's Vladdy at?
At-bats?
Yeah.
348.
Yeah, see, he doesn't... They sit him a lot.
He's also at the end of the order.
What's that?
Kiermaier's also at the end of the order, so
sometimes
he's going to naturally
I think he should be at the end of the bench.
I don't know. I think his bat's been for a number 9 hitter. I think his bat's been okay.
And we've had
plus
this
his
argument.
defense. I'll keep him there.
That's what I'm saying. I'm still saying if he hits 270, it's amazing. But I'm saying they're tempering his at bats. You say he's having lower. That's a lot of less at bats than Vladdy, and Vladdy walks a lot. Vladdy has a lot more walks than him, so you add that on there too. Mm-hmm. The bottom line is I think they.
Well, Kiermaier doesn't walk. That's his only knock on.
He doesn't hit either. So let's
270.
I think I'm saying John Schneider has managed him very well. And we'll take his defense out there, but I'm in there. But he's part of this malaise that's been why the Toronto Blue Jays can't hit. We're a shitty hitting team. And you know what? We're in the top 10 in hitting, which just tells you how badly hitting is in baseball. Like you think about it, you look at the stats.
Or is the pitching just that good?
Then we don't have enough lefties. So is the whole game falling down, or is it too much analytics where you guys get so specific about their thing that I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it caught me off guard when I was seeing the scoring going up and they took away the shift and make the bases bigger and everybody's running around faster. And then I looked at the numbers and I'm going, we still only got 13 guys hitting 300? That's pretty weak.
And we got one of them on our team.
Yeah, we almost had 2. I think Vladdy's going to get back up there now. I think Vladdy will end up hitting around 300.
He's only hitting 276. He's got to
Well, he can pick it up.
I mean, if anything, Merrifield, I have more faith in him getting back to 300.
Oh, yeah. Good point. Because Vlad, it was nice that he had a home run coming right after home run derby. Because everyone's going to question going to do. You walk into the dome.
Because everyone, what's the thing? Like, it ruins your swing. I've heard that before, right?
I don't know if that is. But you see, the place went nuts, eh? First at bat, our home run derby champion, Vlad Guerrero Jr., bang, out of the park. The dome goes nuts. That's good. And then
as it should.
And guess what? That was the only run until when?
What, the seventh inning, right?
Only run till when? We can't hit, bro. We can't hit. Any other players that you think are going to come up that may surprise you at the trade deadline around the league? Because we got teams that are ordinarily not in a position to be, that are usually buyers that are going to be sellers. That's including the New York Mets. That's the St. Louis Cardinals.
Now, speaking of the Mets, I saw a meme online that was pretty funny. So, since 2019, Francisco Lindor and a Toyota RAV4 have nearly identical careers. 0 All-Stars between the two, 0 Gold Gloves between the two, 0 Silver Sluggers, 0 MVPs. But the RAV4's got the double IHS top safety pick. And you can take it to a World Series, unlike Lindor.
Oh, my. You know what? At the time, do you think Lindor's contract, would you have signed him?
No.
At that time for that money?
No.
Really?
No.
I thought they overpaid him, but I would have still gave him a bag.
Not that much, though. It's okay, Mets. You can hang on to
him.
No,
because
the whole thing about Lindor was like his athleticism, his hitting, but those are things that usually decline with age, especially once you get to that free agent window. Yeah,
okay.
So.
But I mean, he's still playing solid defense, but he's not that
solid,
money.
not worth the $25 million or whatever they're paying.
No. Because, what I'm finding interesting is this AL Central situation is like, who's going to be buyers and who's going to be sellers there? Because there's a bunch of players that are kicking around those teams. If you look at the numbers, even Detroit's got a couple guys. But I've been what I've been doing, because I'm an old Tiger fan, and I got friends that go to Comerica Park every time, and I've been reading the Tiger sites, and they don't want to be sellers at the deadline because they're good young prospects that are playing okay. They're competing, but they're not winning. They're losing a lot of close games.
Yeah.
But they don't want to give these guys up because they're all young.
Yeah, if you don't have veterans to trade, you don't have veterans to trade.
That's right. So, and I'm liking the fact that I've heard no big team. And Detroit's got a few good young guys. But I mean, I'm glad that I'm hearing that people that are knocking on the door to see what they could get at them, like some regular everyday guys. I think their third baseman is one of the ones that came up. But in any event, then you got the Twins and the Guardians, who are teams not with big money, and they're got a shot at their division. So what are they going to do? Can they afford to buy anybody? So if that's the case, if Cleveland dumps, they've got, what is that Bieber guy and another guy? They got a couple
Cleveland's half a game back of their division. I don't think they're going to be sellers.
I don't think they're going to be either, but they have a weird time of letting people go at the deadline to get a different piece. Like they've given up starters at the trade deadline before when they've ended up winning the division, which is true. Which makes me go, what? Like, would we trade a starter right now? Like, we're the Toronto Blue Jays that trade. Well,
hell no.
Well, let's give up.
Well, also completely different divisions as well. Like in the AL East, you're just going to get destroyed.
Oh, of course, and of course that's still the toughest division in baseball.
Agreed.
The AL West was acting like it could be something, but with the
NL West, you mean?
I mean the NL West, they were acting like they were going to be something, but they got Colorado.
And the Padres don't know what they are.
They don't know what they are, and they've got Arizona winning the division now.
Well, they're back in second place now. Dodgers
because they won. They were ahead because of the win last night. Which
Dodgers won 5 in a row now. I think.
Well, I think this is time.
Yeah.
This is time. So, and I think that San Francisco is going to climb over them too, because San Francisco's
they're close.
They're going to buy everything. The word around thing is that San Francisco is going to buy everything that they can get. But you know what I like about San Francisco? If you look at their lineup, they're a bunch of. But they say you win the championship like this. They're a bunch of. I don't want to degrade every player, but just say they've got 9 Chapmans.
Okay.
They got, you know what I'm trying to get at? They got like 9 Chapmans. They don't have many Vladdies. They don't have many Trouts or Judges, but they got 9 Chapmans. And not, can 9 Chapmans win it for you? Why not?
Why not? I mean, Yastrzemski's playing really well for them.
Way over his head, I think. I never thought he'd be the project just because of his dad there. But we go around the horn. They got a good catcher. Their defense is solid. Their ERA is respectable. You know what I mean? So, and you look at, they got 2 guys that can close. We just seen them in town here. Like we just escaped beating them, but those games are close. 1 hit away, and San Francisco could have won that series. That's how precarious we are. And what does San Francisco do as soon as they leave Toronto? They win the next 2 out of 3 series anyway. So we dodged a bullet in a weird way playing them. I wouldn't be surprised if San Francisco has an outside chance of making the World Series. I really do. I guess it's because, you know what it is too, is because I've been coming home late and putting in an MLB network. You see regional coverage, so I've been watching I've been watching more Giants games lately than usual. San Diego is what do you say about that? What do you say about San Diego, the New York Mets, the New York Yankees, the Los Angeles Angels? Who am I missing?
All style, no substance.
Oh, the money, though. The money that's what I'm saying is when we pick away at and I'm going to be incessant about this as we're talking, because I think this is the first pillar in this, is the fact that when you start losing bodies in other part of the sports that's supposed to support the product that's on the field, something's got to shake. Is that the first brick? You know what I mean?
Well, okay. Well, I don't think we can get too much into this.
No, we can't.
I just want to pose this question as we go. It's for as long as I can remember, there's been teams like this. Why is that going to change things now?
Because they suddenly laid off people that are in the sports industry. And I haven't seen
sports
layoffs.
Broadcasting.
Okay, still, but I mean, I've seen guys come in and come out, but like to see this wholesale thing, like when you told me about Sportsnet now too, that perked up.
That's just rumor so far, though. I don't
want.
to.
I hope it's not. I hope it's not. That's, you know what I mean.
You hope it is rumor.
Yeah, I hope it is rumor. Yeah, and I hope it is, because I don't like. Eventually, like what happens is when it tears away from the product, it hurts the competition. And why are we watching the games? Because we love the competition. But I'm saying the contracts can also affect the competition, and that's what's scaring me.
By the way, you know what I just learned? So we can take this. I think we're done for baseball.
Oh, yeah.
So I want to talk a little bit about basketball. So I found out that there's a few people who were like fired from ESPN the last time around. They have their own show for like Showtime now. Do you know about this?
Bill Simmons is one.
He was not the one I was thinking of, but okay. There's, however, the annoying redhead who was the host of like NBA Today or whatever.
Oh, what's her name? Yeah. She got one, but she. You know what? I don't know.
She's with Tracy McGrady and Paul Pierce.
What's her name? Oh, and Paul Pierce. Yeah. He ended up on Showtime. The redhead. I know she did the NBA Today every day. She was a host.
Yeah, she was awful.
But she said something off color, didn't she, on the mic?
She did. I can't remember what it was.
How come we don't even know her name? I can't. Again, I never remind her. Okay, you disliked her that much?
Oh my God, she like, first of all, just the Toronto bashing with her.
Oh, I didn't like that either. Yes,
but in half the time she would like say some stupid shit, and it was just like, I don't know. It feels like she didn't really know NBA. And then I looked into her background. Like, she's really like a college football person. So
that's where she came out of. Yeah. That was her pedigree. But I think she also might have, I shouldn't say this on the air, maybe she's had friends in the NBA.
Oh, of course. Friends in high places.
No, maybe she's dated some people in situations. Is that a optimum way to put it?
I mean, hey, it's
part of the game. Part of the game.
So
how can we forget her name? She comes up on my Instagram when
Rachel Nichols?
Rachel Nichols, that's what it is. Yes, Rachel Nichols. Let's bring in Katie Nolan instead. Yeah, but she said something off color.
Yeah, I can't remember. I think it's whatever. Anyways, but into the NBA though, LeBron's coming back. Shocker.
Oh, no kidding. But no, wait. Let's go back a second here. Where do you get Showtime? Do you have Showtime on your TV?
No, it's a podcast that they run.
Oh, okay. Everyone. Yeah, okay. I get that. All right. That's what we're going to be someday, I hope. But anyway, do you get Showtime? Where do you have to?
No, it's an American channel.
Yeah, we don't.
Like, we just get like their original programming gets distributed through like Crave or whatever here.
Oh, it's through Crave.
Yeah, well, like I'm talking about like their dramas and whatever, like Dexter and that kind of thing.
No, nothing. Yeah, I'm not about that. But their sports thing. That's what I'm saying. They got an NBA show, and I think they're trying to get a football show too, aren't they?
I wouldn't doubt it.
Everybody does because the monolith is going. But continue on what you're saying about basketball. Sorry.
So LeBron is back. Shocker. Surprising absolutely nobody.
2 years? 2 years he plays?
Well, he's going to play with his son. We know that.
Okay, so that's got to be 2 more years.
Yeah. Well, 2 more years at least. This year and next year, because his son's getting drafted next summer.
Okay, so we got the 2023-24 season, so you'd have to play with him in the 24-25 season.
That's correct.
So that'd be his last season. He'll be 40 years old. You know what I mean?
Good time to go.
I agree, but we're going to miss LeBron.
Of course. Well, we still got him for a little bit. Let's not get too sad.
I heard. I'm not. I've never. I'm respectful of LeBron. You know what I mean?
You do a lot of standing up for LeBron, though, on the show. A lot of people might confuse you for a fan.
Okay, because I have to, because I think that he's the guy that's risen above all the other bullshit that got soft in the NBA, and he gets slammed too much for some of the moves that he's made, and I'm just looking at him as one of the greatest basketball players that ever played the game.
Well, and also for being a buddy of China, I think that loses him some brownie points.
Oh yeah, well that's too. That's a great enigma too about that. They don't bringing that up. The NBA hasn't talked about that too much and how much they're entrenched there, and they're trying to get guys to go over there this summer. You know that, Because they paid. Remember, Kobe used to go.
Sure.
You know what I mean? They'd fly him over privately. Kobe'd get like a mil to stop training for 10 minutes and go to Japan and sell shoes, and he'd lose his mind because the market there is too huge. But I think the world politics and the world dichotomy has changed it. Like, why do you want to go to China?
Money, of course.
Well, money changes everything. Do you ever think the NBL get a breakthrough a bigger breakthrough in the Middle East?
The NBA itself, probably not, but I can see basketball getting more of a presence there.
In what way?
Well, they'd have to start their own thing.
Well, do they play basketball in the Middle East? Don't they have a league in Egypt somewhere?
Egypt's Africa.
Israel. Okay. Israel has a professional basketball league.
Yeah,
I know that. But I don't know.
Israel's got a hockey team. So
that's right.
They got everything.
well, they're Israel. That's just the way it works. You know what I'm saying? Which is a good thing, I guess. I don't know what we were getting at there about. The NBA.
Yeah. So I want to start off with the in-season tournament details have come out, and you already made a face. Now I kind of like this. It's a way to make some of the regular season games more intriguing. So if you don't know, it's 5 groups or 6 groups of 5 rather. For our Raptors fans, they are in the same group as Orlando, Brooklyn, Chicago, and Boston.
Mary had a little lamb.
How it works is the winner of each group goes to the quarterfinals, and there's 2 wild cards to complete the quarterfinal. Final 4 takes place in Vegas.
Of course. Where else is it going to be? In Etobicoke? Come on. Why are they doing this?
To get ratings up, especially early in the season, when you're competing against the NFL.
Then don't have those stupid... Okay, well, how many guys are going to load management the tournament?
When there's cash on the line, probably a lot less.
Interesting, yeah. Money changes everything. I think it's bullshit myself. Why do you need an in... So what's this championship going to be worth? What is this like? So they're going to be no All-Star game now, right? Does that eliminate the All-Star game?
No. These just like our regular season games that count towards the NBA Cup.
There's still going to be regular season games.
So how it works is the group stage game. So you play each team in your group once. Yeah. So it's a total of 2 home, 2 away games, 4 group stage games. Those also count towards the regular season.
Agreed.
The quarterfinal matchup also counts towards the regular season. But semis and the finals, those are like separate from everything. Those just count towards NBA Cup.
Okay. I'm not a fan of this. I'm not at all. You know what it gets back to, too?
You say that until the Raptors all of a sudden had a chat.
I'm not going to watch. I'm not even going to watch. How's that? When
the regular season games.
The regular season
You're going to watch.
They're not. When they get that final game, no. No, unless John Morant's in it. Then I'll watch, okay? Can I say that?
You know what's going to happen? The Raptors are all of a sudden going to be in the contention for that wild card spot, and then all of a sudden you're going to be like, Raptors in the quarterfinals now. Anything could happen.
I hope I chew my shoes first, because that's pure bullshit. You know that. It is. It's just like, you know what it tells me? This is where my little opening where I'm pulling on this sweater about money and contracts is. I started with, I think the contracts are too big, and I've been saying it for how long since I've known you. So there's going to be someone pull out one brick and things are going to start coming down. It just seems too top head. And we're talking about the Miggy contracts and the pullouts contracts and these things that they give in the NBA and buying guys out and tight caps and all this. Something's got to shake. And I'm saying because when you had that load management and they were shit games, the advertisers are going, why are we paying for this? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but this is going to lessen load management, though, because guys are going to want to play because, again, money's on the line. It's going to get viewership up. It's going to add more money to the pot.
You better hope that that's the way it's going to be, because I'm going to be the guy that's going to be calling fraud the whole time. Now, if some of the greatest games ever played in the history of basketball are during this tournament, I'm kind of irritated, because then it makes you go and watch. That's the gamble that they're taking.
I think we're going to have a few a few big moments come out of this.
Oh,
it's good. And I predict by the time we get to the semis and the finals, it's going to be must-see TV. Single elimination game.
We're conned.
We're going to be
conned. We're going to get conned again by these schmucks. I think the only sports entity right now that is untouchable.
How is it a con? This is just like, let's have some fun.
Why? Well, then just play the games and go on. Because this is the difference. This is the root of what's going on in the world today, okay? I have to admit I'm an old man. Mr. Milani here is a bright young man. So there's going to be that difference in the way that you want to be entertained. So
it's all just basketball at the end of the day.
It's an interesting that you brought up off camera. Are they going to put the little things on the side like a little flame, like when you played the video game and the guy got hot? They're going to show flames on the screen during that to let it go because you're the one that says
the Nickelodeon. Maybe like they could do it like the NFL does, like the Nickelodeon game. I wouldn't be surprised if we see more of that. No, but I think that's good for the kids. That's not for us. That's for the kids.
Okay, so like, did you see the Live Tour? You ever watch the Live Tour on TV?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, I'm a golf fanatic. You know that. I watch golf. I PVR golf, people. Okay, I'm that guy. All right, when I watch the Live thing, I don't mind they're wearing shorts. Because I'm a shorts guy.
It's the music that gets to you, though.
Oh, and I love me. I'm a music guy. It's the only place you know what? I'm a music junkie. Everybody knows I play music 24 hours a day. One day I had my Bose speaker on my golf cart, and I said, "This doesn't work. No, this doesn't."
Throws off your rhythm.
This don't know. Yeah, if I want to dance, I want to dance. And my golf game isn't the greatest to be the one that's out there having a freaking Soundgarden ripping as I'm taking a freaking drive on the third hole. You know what I mean? So all that stuff is flowers. You know what it is? It's smoke and mirrors to me. And what I'm saying is,
isn't that sports in a nutshell?
No, yes and no, because I agree with. Like, I can't imagine like what it was like and it started when I was a kid. Thank God it got changed just when I really got into baseball. Like, just think about this. If it was like 1965.
Okay.
It's not past the All-Star break. People start not even watching because there's only one team from each division. No, they had divisions. They didn't have divisions until 1968, 67 when the Expos came in.
So, I believe it was, what year was the Miracle Mets? That was the first year of divisions. Was it? 69, I think.
Okay, yeah, Miracle Mets was 69. Okay, in any event, think before that. Okay, the Colorado Rockies are out of it anyway, so they're nothing to do with it anyway. But look at all the teams that would be out of it right now. Toronto Blue Jays.
Yeah, if there's only 2 divisions in each league, yeah.
Yeah, but before that, there wasn't even a division. You just had to win the pennant. That's hardcore, bro. That's as hardcore as it gets. Now,
it was less hardcore when there was only like 8 teams in each league. But then
agreed.
That started to grow.
And so I'm going to give you the growing, and I'm glad it is this way because there should be more teams. You play 100 and some games, you got to let some more teams in. But I've also heard that the baseball wants to go back to a 154 game schedule. So I think the NBA should go back to a 72 game schedule if they're going to have this crazy ass tournament. Give us less games, more quality. You can't have your cake and eat it too, right?
Well, people have been talking about that with the NBA.
Yeah, so we'll bring it down because now they're going to say, oh, the stress of this tournament, he blew his Achilles, cost the season. And we're going to get that stuff too. So remember, put the good.
Yeah, but it's a max of 7 games that you're playing in this tournament.
Okay, so now it's for that, what do you call it?
Over like a month.
Okay, so now Milani's playing Cruz for the Paper Cup NBA midseason championship. I got Shea on my team.
Okay.
He's going for this $150,000 bonus. He's already making $40 fucking million, so he's going to get the extra $150 million. He goes up and does a Paul George in the Olympics, and I don't see the guy for 2 years. So we still win this little cup, but he's not around when it's going for the freaking Larry O'Brien trophy a couple months later because he got so crazy over some money during some stupid mid-season tournament that I lost him forever. But that could happen anytime in any game.
Exactly.
Okay?
Now, I don't know how you're going to feel about this, but I think the NHL should do a little something like this.
Oh, you're killing me.
Killing me. Do it early in the season, though, like right at the beginning.
Okay, I get what you're getting at. I could do that if we're going to do it right in October.
Do it in October.
Halloween, it's done. By Halloween,
maybe like end it by like November 10th, the latest, or something.
I understand why the NHL would do it because I think it opened the door to it, which is really weird because they call it a niche sport and it's more local, which I think baseball is. But I think the quality of hockey games have been better than the quality of basketball games, even though the end of this year it got a little sketchy for me. Last year was better. Like the 22-23 season or the 21-22 season, I thought hockey, especially the playoffs, the quality was a little better than this year.
These playoffs were a little
kooky. Yeah, but I mean, that's just a little bit of a down. Look at those 3 years previous to that. We had amazing playoffs, and I expect it to be better than the NBA again. So I understand where the hockey's trying to get the extra push, but I find hockey as a whole, but you disagree with me. You think it's the worst run league.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I think it's part of this is because we don't get the personalities out there enough. That's part of the reason.
Well, and the commissioner isn't a hockey guy.
Let's not even go there. I don't know. I'm not about this mid-season tournament stuff, guy. I'm just going to tell you that right now. I'm going to be honest about it. I'm not a fan of it. I think, what do you need a gimmick to get me to watch a game? Are we playing? Playing
little footsies there.
Yeah. Do you? They do this in Europe. This is a soccer thing.
Soccer thing.
You know what I mean? So what? We've got to acquiesce to the soccer?
Well, I mean, I don't think it hurts to take a page from that book of soccer, you know? It's obviously been successful for decades in Europe. Why can't it work here for other sports?
What a great divide we have here, eh? When age is added to anything. It's a great, because I can't get it. And younger people tell me, even guys at work, some of the younger guys are telling me, hey, Cruzy, you know what, did you hear, is that not? And I'm looking going, what? But they're coming up to me talking about, because I
think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be fun.
I will get there at the time that I get there, and
I predict the Raptors will finish second in their group. They will make the wild card to the quarterfinals. That's my prediction.
What do you think is the best All-Star game, and what do you think is the worst one?
There's one more NBA thing I want to get to after this, but I will answer your question. The best All-Star game? The whole weekend or just the game itself?
Just the game itself.
Oh, boy.
You know, football is the worst.
Yeah, I think the NHL's is trash too.
NBA's worse. They just fire up the ball. I think baseball's still got, even though
I'd rather watch the NBA All-Star game though,
because you're going to get the athleticism and the crazy ass stuff.
Yeah.
So what's
and if it's a close game, the fourth quarter gets good.
Okay, so what do you think the best event is out of all of these things? Like,
3-point contest, NBA.
Really?
Yeah, home run derby's up there.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. But you know what? Some of the NHL skills competitions got to be considered, especially this year. Because we don't get the marquee look at some of these other sports. But did you see some of the skills competition in the NHL this year? That was fun shit.
I like what they did for like kind of changing up because it was in Florida, but I'm on the minority. A lot of people didn't like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a lot of people didn't like that.
And then me, the old get off my lawn guy.
The golf stuff, I thought that was fun.
Me too. That's what I'm saying. Like, at least they presented something that well, what are they doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That kind of aspect. So you got your attention. I get it. Now, what has happened in sports is like the NBA dunk contest used to be
Yeah, but the stars don't want to go anymore.
Yeah, they let it rock, so they let it go. So in any event, I always say baseball first, but I do say the 3-point competition is right up there when you talk about that and the home run derby and whatever. But I mean, to get off track, we're going to talk about one more NBA thing, and my thing is this. Drake, are you listening to the show? Do you think Drake's listening?
Guarantee it.
Okay, so now that he's up in the morning and he's having because he's like a guy that gets up around noon. He's not getting up at 7. He's got a nanny to watch his son or whatever the case may be. Drake, call up Damian and say, come to Toronto for the weekend and tell Pascal he can't come over for that lunch. Okay?
So
you know what I'm getting at?
You knew exactly where I wanted to go with this. So there's been a number of trade scenarios I've seen thrown up for Dame. So apparently the Portland-Miami talks have hit a standstill.
Oh, I hit a wall. Pat Riley's being a little bit of a hardcore. God bless Riley. You know, I'm not giving you the farm for the guy.
Did you see what Barkley said, where he thinks the Lillard won't be moved until the deadline?
I did not hear that, but I'm a betting man. That's the smartest thing I've heard, because then the value will be more. He'll be worth way more than he is now. Unless a team like
Toronto, you're playing with fire.
Okay, but agreed.
He could break his leg.
All right. I'm not saying that, but he had a great year. I'm just saying that Masai's a player in this. Isn't it great that whenever NBA shit treat comes on, Masai's names come up?
God bless him.
Exactly, which is good for our sports city. So he's got a prog in there somewhere in the fire, because Toronto is never left out of the conversation. Like Oklahoma City, they're not talking about Oklahoma City getting Damian Damian. Or New Orleans.
Oklahoma City is in the conversation, actually.
Are they really? Why? Because to give up those assets?
Because they have so many first-round picks, yeah.
And I heard
he
would play with Shea.
Cash they can throw. Yeah, exactly.
He would play with Shea. I heard that too. But I mean,
I don't think they're a front runner, but I think they're in the conversation.
Vaguely, but I mean, I've only heard about 5 teams that really came up.
Boston,
Miami,
the Clippers, Raptors,
New
and the
York.
Knicks.
Yeah, those teams are the ones that have come up. But isn't it great that the Raptors' name is even in on this? This is Damian Lillard.
I don't think it's going to work out with the Raptors because the Raptors, let's be real. I think Scotty Barnes needs to be thrown in that trade for it to work. I think that's the only reason. That's the only way Portland says yes. Okay, let's do a little role play. I'm Portland. You're the Raptors. What are you offering me?
I'm offering you Pascal.
No, I don't want Pascal.
Okay, deal's done.
I want Barnes.
Over, done.
There you go.
Hang phone, click, click the deals quick. Because you know what you're going to do then? You're going to bring up Anobi. Okay, you're going to go right. You're going to go to Barnes and Anobi, and I'm going to say, wait a second here. They're, you know what? And I hope that Barnes, because I heard about this dressing room bullshit, and Fred said, yeah, there was, because Fred's an honest guy.
Sure,
he didn't throw anybody under the bus.
No, he's a class guy.
Yeah, he's a class guy. But did he answer the questions? Yes. At moments, we did have some indiscretions in the dressing room, which is a polite way of saying that. I thought it was great. Like, if it had been like a Gilbert Arenas or Kyrie Irving or something, they would have said who slept with who in the hotel room in frickin' Vegas. That kind of bullshit. You know what I mean? So I'm saying that. But I think that Anobi and Barnes play good together. When you see them on the court, they have a chemistry, right?
Yeah.
So I don't want to give them up. So
and Siakam or Trent as the centerpiece doesn't get it done.
We got Trent from Portland, remember?
Yeah, they're not going to take him back.
They're not. That's why they got rid of him. So who else?
They may take him back as part of a package, but not as the centerpiece.
So we got to give up at least 3 firsts. It's going to be 3 firsts to get in the conversation, and we can give up the next 3 firsts with this young core we got in Dame. That's how you got to play.
Plus Scotty Barnes.
No, we're not giving up Scotty Barnes.
There you go. End of conversation.
So no, Raptors are, unless Drake can pull off, they're going to give him studio time and freaking be a guest on his rap record.
Yeah, but Portland has to say yes to this too. That's the thing.
Oh, that's true too.
The Celtics, I think they would need to offer Jaylen Brown, but I don't really see that happening.
No.
The Knicks and the Heat are the only really serious ones in this, in my opinion, because the Knicks can offer RJ and the Heat can offer Hero. I think both those guys would be good shooting guards to play with Scoot Henderson, right? So
agreed. But I've also heard this is that RJ Barrett's stock has gone up a little bit because he seemed to be that wayward player. Mm-hmm. But the Knicks screw-ups this year were not RJ Barrett. As a matter of fact, he played some of his best basketball in the playoffs this year.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay, so word around the campfire is RJ's an enigma player. Like, that's maybe the guy you can let him go. But now in New York saying, because remember, RJ's only 22. Mm-hmm. People don't realize he's only been in the league, 3 years? He came in when he was 19. The guy's only 22. He's a big, lanky wingman with skills. He could do something. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I hope.
I'd like the Raptors to take a run at him.
RJ?
If the Knicks lose out on Lillard, they're probably going to be knocking on Siakam or someone like that.
Oh, and the word is that Siakam would go to New York. But I would give up Siakam for RJ Barrett at the drop of a hat, not even questioning it. We made the deal. Role play. Hi, I'm Masai, owner of the Knicks. What are you doing? You guys really don't need RJ anyway. Didn't you say that he had some flaws defensively? Didn't you say he's got to work on a shot? We got a guy with a shot. His name's Pascal. They say he's got a little bit of defense. Wouldn't that fit in? Take Spike Lee out for lunch. Take Pascal with you. You know what I mean? Come on. I mean, and you know what I think? Pascal, you blew it for me. When you were a whiner and all of a sudden, I love Toronto. Go to hell. You know what I mean? Go to hell. He was always a Robin anyway. You know what I mean?
For sure.
I will give him this. Best basketball I seen him play was when he played with Kawhi and Kyle and Fred when we won the championship. He knew his role and played big and made big shots. So he has the potential to still be.
Well, he was, for a hot second, he was a really good number one as well. Coming off that Kawhi season. Come on, he was an all-star. How many points per game did he have that year?
26, I think.
There you go.
Yeah, then what did he do? He cried like a Jewish princess on her wedding night.
Wow, I don't even know what that means.
That's good. It's an old school expression. We got to keep the old school here.
Maybe keep it in the past.
Yes, okay. I'm just saying that.
So you brought up Drake before. Did you hear about his message to the NHL?
No.
So he said he's put out something on his social media saying, NHL, I DM'd you. You have 24 hours to respond.
Oh, really? Is that what? That's just off the charts. Off the charts. You know what that is? That's a slag at the Leafs too, eh?
I think it's a slag at the whole league.
Oh, it is. But that number one is there. You ever see Drake at a Leaf game?
Yes.
Have you?
Yeah, he's been at Leaf games. They lose every time he's there.
Oh, that's right. That's what they said. Don't show up anymore. And you know, he is a bit of a hockey fan. He's not like a
bit.
Yeah. Okay. Obviously, but
I'm not gonna give him too much credit.
No.
The thing, I guess, the first big story for the NHL is the Alex Galchenyuk news. He's been terminated from the Arizona Coyotes after a hit and run incident in, I believe it was in Scottsdale, Arizona, and he had a bit of a run in there with the Popo.
Okay, so let's tell you this. Okay, we keep tabs on the Habs. Once upon a time, when we got Galchenyuk, that big strapping, flying around left winger who scored 30 goals.
Center. He was marked advertised as center, and I was pissed when the Habs drafted him because I wanted the Leafs to take him. I was freaking pissed.
Okay, and he did give us 30 goals 1 year.
1 year.
One. Notice we said that 1 year. I'm going to tell you one thing that I believe, and people are going to say this might be off the rails on a bit of that. There is a very big Russian, what would you call it, dominance in Montreal.
Of course.
Okay, we know that. The history, how it got there, I explained it to some people recently. They were shocked. I'll give you a history lesson another day. When you're treated like that in Russia, and his father also had some history of everything that's done in Russia. I'm reading a spy versus spy novel versus right now, and the Russians do everything with vodka. You know what I mean? They bless their children with vodka. They pour it on the cars. Sometimes they put it on their bicycles. But anyways, Galchenyuk was a bit of a party boy. And who's the guy he came in the league with, who's not in the league anymore either, who's drafted by Edmonton? Or he's floating
Oh, Yakupov.
Yakupov. Yeah. Where is he at now?
He's back in Russia.
Okay, so there you go. See, where Galchenyuk is going to be in the next 10 minutes if they don't draft him to go to the Ukraine. But anyway, he's got his Canadian passport. This guy's
American
had
passport.
American. This guy's had red flags. That's why Montreal let him go. Had the red flags there that started in Montreal. When you're doing stuff like this on the street, and Disney had some indiscretions with some girlfriends, like he's got a trail of stuff that should not sports related, because I don't want to know about the man's personal life. However, when you're on the street doing something as stupid as you did, this is basically your last pull, and he got a bit of money. A bit. I mean, it's better. He's getting paid more than us.
I mean, considering where his career is.
Yes, to get that shot, and now you're terminated. Bang. When did he sign this contract? 60 days ago? No, not even.
Not even. Like 2 weeks ago. Maybe not even then.
You're a fool, buddy. Bye. See you in the KHL. You know he's not going to play there. He's going to play in Italy. He's going to play.
I can see him going to the KHL.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Someone will pick him. He's good. He's sitting down jump right, and he's only 30 years old, right? Is he 30?
Yeah, he is turning 30 in February.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, he's only at 29 years old. So there's some miles on him. He'll go to the KHL. But I mean, that's ridiculous. I hope everybody out there, like young stars, young players, anybody in the world of sports, we can't dismiss when we have behavior that's what do you call it? Felonies, non-law abiding. You know what I mean? We got to call these kids out. You know what I'm saying? And calling out the stupidity, I won't go back to. I'll tell you about that at the end of the show. I heard something come up, and I don't think you're going to agree with it. But continue on. Galchenyuk, I don't think we'll ever see him in the NHL again.
No,
he's done.
He screwed up. He done screwed up. Speaking of stupidity, Tony DeAngelo got bought out for the second time in 3 summers.
What do you think his deal is? I think he's just not good enough.
He's pretty good. I think the problem is the attitude that comes with it is probably not worth it.
Very large.
Yeah, and Philly's a young team. They're rebuilding. They're probably get this guy out of here.
And
ASAP.
It's new. Briere come in. He's cleaning house since he's been there.
I like what he's doing.
Yes, he's cleaning. He's cleaning house, and he took a Russian on the gamble that'll get him in a couple 3 years.
There you go.
Got to give the guy credit there.
Now, I guess the thing with DeAngelo is he's the second player ever, the first player ever in NHL history to be bought out straight up by a team twice. So that means because there's been players that have been bought out twice, but there's always been a team's retaining salary, or with the Cavalier, there was one of those compliance buyouts that didn't count against the cap. This is the first time in history where guys have been bought out by twice. And it's funny because just before the draft, there was a trade in place to send him to Carolina.
How did that fail? That's right.
So the league...
That was at the trade deadline, right?
No. This is pre-draft.
Oh, pre-draft.
This is a week before the draft or whatever, that week leading up to it. And it was blocked by the league because it would have involved retained salary on a player that was traded back to a team he came from a year ago, even though with Philadelphia, there's a completely different GM involved. I didn't get how the league can say this was like
They were circumventing that. I heard that Briere was trying to circumvent the salary cap with a.
How can he circumvent the cap though? With like this is like he just got there.
I know.
It doesn't make any sense.
I'm still no. We should research it because I didn't get.
That's why the NHL's the worst run league.
Okay. But there was something. There's an anomaly in it, and I didn't understand. To this day, sitting out here talking to you right now, I don't understand the anomaly at all. But I did hear it was something about retaining, who retains the salary and what was the back door. Did they put everything on the table? I don't know. Well, you know what?
It's stupid too because Philly signed him to that contract. It's not like Carolina signed him to that and they're getting him back.
Exactly. So I'm not sure what went on there. There was some dirty business, from what I understand, or inappropriate or whatever. I don't get it. You know what I mean? When these things come up, I never understand. I'm not a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? I hope that you're understanding this now. This is a significant part of the program because I'm going to hammer this home because I'm starting early because people don't realize, they say that the hockey season is 365 days a year in Toronto.
It really is.
Probably that way in Montreal too, and that's why we keep tabs on the Habs. So what I'm saying right now is I thought that it was interesting. It's looked at two ways. We got Newhook on a contract for 4 years for
2.9.
That's about $500,000 a year. Okay? If this kid who's...
What? No, 2.9 per year.
2.9, yeah, oh, yes. Okay, yeah, for 3 years.
Yeah, 4 years. 4 years.
4 year, $2 million a year.
So a hair under like 12 mil is being spent.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, so so it'll be 4 years a mil. Okay, here's what I'm saying. Now, in context of the moon, if the salary cap goes up next year, we can sign 2 more Newhooks if you want to look at that kind of...
Well, one more.
Yeah.
1.5
Newhooks. 1.5 Newhooks anyway. My point is this. This guy's only 23 years old. He's a former first-round pick. This guy can skate, and he's big. So I'm just saying this. I'm hoping what we have to is the Kirby Doc breakthrough part 2. And the argument is this, is that we heard some people in Montreal saying, well, it's a good contract because as we are building. I'm not for this rebuilding shit. You know me. I want to make the playoffs now. I'm not waiting around.
Did you hear what San Luis told Newhook?
No.
We're bringing it here because you could afford to make some mistakes here.
Oh, yeah, I don't like that. I don't want to hear that.
That doesn't sound like a team that's ready to win.
Stop it. So I don't...
That's just straight out of your coach's mouth.
Okay, I think he was just deceiving the press. St. Louis, be careful what you say here. I'm going for playoffs now. I'm going to tell you this.
I don't think the team is.
I'm going to look at this, okay? Just listen, because we're going to get to your guys in a minute and the mess that you guys are. But let's just say we start the season now. We're going to start things a little bit differently because first of all, we got our defense back there. Don't disrespect the guys we have back there on my theory on teams. And everyone's looking at Montreal going, them got 8 guys coming to camp. We got some boys coming to camp. You know that can't be denied. Don't give me that head shake of bullshit. We got 8 big boys coming to camp to skate. Our biggest liability is Savard, and he's going to lead them all. So I'll cut to the chase.
No, your biggest one is Matheson.
We got to get him out of town. Edmondson out of town.
He's there for 3 years.
We're going to do something about him. You know what I mean? We're going to send him to Russia. He got a KHL contract. Okay, but anyways, I know what you're saying about that. My point is this. Now, suddenly Montreal comes out. They start the season. The first line is Caulfield and Suzuki. And Doc, you are officially a winger.
And that's a steep drop off after that.
You haven't even heard me finish yet, okay? So
I'm looking at their cap friendly page. I see the guys.
The second line is going to be a guy who is at the last 20 games this season was hitting at a point a game. Harvey Pinard.
Maybe.
Okay, so our second line suddenly becomes Newhook at center. We got Anderson on the wing.
Who's going to be hurt for half the year.
Just listen, I haven't dissed your Leafs that bad yet. So that's our second line right there. So look at those 2 lines. We got Newhook, Anderson, and Pinard. That's our 6 guys, all skating going. No, that's a good line. No.
So what?
Wait.
Have fun in the bottom 5.
Wait a second. No. Now look at the forwards I haven't even talked about. I haven't talked about Monahan. I haven't talked about Gallagher. I haven't talked
Gallagher,
about
he's
Dorvac.
a bum.
I'm just saying.
He's past his best before date.
But he's a good third liner now. He'll play his role as a third liner.
Another guy who can miss half the season.
We're not saying that he had one season. He had some injuries. So what? He's still there.
More than one.
I haven't even mentioned these guys in my top 6 yet. They'll be playing in my bottom 6. So that could make things happen with those defensemen. And we got 2 goalies. So we start the season off right. Why can't we steal some games? We were competitive last year. We had a little.
You're a bottom five team.
But wait a second. We haven't even brought up Slavkovsky, who's a second. We haven't even brought him up, and he's going to be a good player. So we're not even talking about him in our top 6. So we got.
Are you sure you're going to do another 180 on him?
No, he's going to be fine. We sat him down because he went to learn some stuff. He tied his skates tighter. He's going to be, and all these boys are big. They're big players, too. Like, we're not a little team. We're not the little Montreal team anymore. Okay.
Your first line's very little.
Well, that's why people said someone put them on with Pinard because that'd be what a flying line. I go, no, you can't put them out there because nobody protect them. And I'm not saying Doc's a tough guy, but he's a big enough boy.
He's big.
And he skates tough. You see him play, and he's not afraid to go in the corners. That's why we got to tell him. He came up as a center. No. We're gonna make you a winger now, a big strapping winger.
His primary position's listed as center. Just throwing that out there.
I know he's still considered a center. I'm going St. Louis. No, unless he blossoms into something crazy and he ends up on a line with like Anderson and Slavkovsky.
To me, Doc could I think he's gonna end up as the second line center. Just a gut feeling.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So then we put Anderson up on our first line. You can't put Caulfield and Suzuki out there without somebody of some size because they'll just get.
No,
you
need someone to do the dirty work.
That's right, and those guys are shifty as hell. But look at last year when Caulfield did that Soul Train dance move in front of the net. Guess what happened? Yeah, you know what I mean? Pancakes are pancakes. You know what I mean? And I don't want to see our guys turning into pancakes. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. I want to get to this Newhook deal though. So
I like it.
This reminds me a lot of the deal Alex Kerfoot inked with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Very similar situations that they're coming into as well.
Interesting. But look at Kerfoot. It ended up being a viable player on your team.
Leaf fans hated him, Cruz.
I don't care. It doesn't matter.
I couldn't wait for that contract to be over with Kerfoot. That's where I'm going with this.
But he got more money, too.
He made the same amount of money in Arizona.
But still, he continued
Good for him. Make it there. I don't want him making that money in Toronto.
Oh, so you're going to say that Newhook is going to be the quality of player that Kerfoot is?
Yeah, he strikes me as a third liner. I've seen a lot of Colorado games. He was never a guy that stood out.
Because there are too many guys ahead of him, I thought.
But even when he came on the ice, it was like...
I noticed him. He had some moves. He had some size. Maybe he just didn't get the opportunity. There was too many guys in front of him in Colorado that he wasn't getting power play time.
They said that about Kerfoot, too.
No, but Kerfoot, I think Newhook's a better skater, for starters.
I don't know. Kerfoot's a pretty good skater. I don't think that's
why I'm bringing it up, because Kerfoot was known as skater. I think this Newhook kid might even be a better skater with maybe a little bit more polish. We won't know.
I think he's going to be a good penalty killer for you guys.
Oh, that's going to be part of it too. There's no doubt about it because he can do that. I'm just saying that I'm shouting out here because we're going to do a big thing when we start the hockey season, especially looking at Canadian teams. Screw America and ESPN and your TNT and all your bullshit. We're going to talk about our Canadian teams and to get there. And in order to do that, we have to keep tabs on the Habs.
Sure.
We just have to do that. Now,
I want to get to a few quick hits for NHL.
Please.
So Alex DeBrincat finally gets traded from Ottawa, goes to Detroit for a package of a 2024 first-rounder pick, which I believe it's either going to be Detroit's or Boston's, depending on who finishes higher or lower. Ottawa's going to get the lower pick. Dominic Kubalik, prospect Donovan Sebrango, and a fourth-round pick.
I think that's a good trade for both teams, kind of.
I mean, Ottawa, I think this is the best they were going to get. They were never going to, I think they gave up too much. Despite it not being a great draft last summer, they gave up, that first-round pick? I think it was a first, a second, and a third they gave up, right? Kubalik, he's good, if not streaky, on the second line. Sebrango, I think he's a little bit of a long-shot prospect. But you get that first-round pick back.
Yeah,
back in your system.
Good. That's what I'm saying. It's probably good for both. Ottawa's considered to be in a position like Montreal. As a matter of fact, people think Ottawa's ahead of Montreal.
I would say so.
In their development. So we're gonna have to wait and see on that. I think this is one of those deals that looks good for both teams now. But let's talk about it in 18 months. You know what I mean? Like when the dust settles.
Even midway next year, I think we'll have a good idea.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, midway next year. Yeah, okay, okay, that's about 18 months. We'll be
6 months, I'm saying.
You think so? Midway of this season?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Because we'll know how DeBrincat's doing. We'll know how Kubalik's fitting into Ottawa. I think those are obviously the big pieces, right? The major ones.
Agreed.
Zadina lands on his feet, signing a 1-year, $1.1 million deal with the Sharks.
Is this another one is this another flat cap signing, so he's gambling on himself?
Well, he got let go from Detroit. That was a mutual termination of his contract, right? So I think he's just going to San Jose because he's guaranteed the ice time there. There's a little bit of rumors that he was going to come to like the Leafs or like for Tampa. There's a few other competitive teams in there. But San Jose is probably the only team there that was like, hey, we can guarantee you a top 6 role on the team. Try and rebuild
whatever it is that you're going to. Yeah,
exactly.
And I think he could do it because he's still not that old.
No, and he's got the size. He does some like the little things right. You know, the kind of the dump and chase kind of player.
Yep.
But this was like a guy. He went 6th overall. Could have gone 3rd that year.
Yeah.
It was considered a steal when Detroit got him at number 6.
Yes.
Just didn't work out his way, I guess. Keandre Miller signed a 2-year extension with the Rangers. Their top left-hand defenseman.
I think that's a good sign.
Yeah, and they got him at like under $4 million a year, which I think is great for them.
And how many years was that again?
2 year.
Okay, because look, this is the year of the. Let's go back in a couple of years. We'll look back at this year and see who was crafty enough to use this flat year to their advantage. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, then once he's up for another contract, the cap's going to be way up for him, hopefully.
That's what they're saying. Yeah.
Leo Carlson signs his entry-level contract in Anaheim, so I imagine he's going to be there for training camp. Probably he's going to break camp and make the team day 1.
Okay.
Because like they're not that strong down the middle, so I can see it being Carlson, Zegras, and Adam Henrique as their top 3 centers.
That's not bad.
It's about it I have for the NHL.
Oh, no.
Oh, actually.
No.
What?
We're going to run away from NHL. We're not going to talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs.
What's there to talk about?
Why they can't sign anybody? Would you trade Nylander for Carlson?
No.
Thank God. You heard that rumor, didn't you?
I have heard that rumor. Doesn't make sense.
Not at all. So what do they say? Are they shopping Nylander? Why would you take Carlson over Nylander? Like, look at the age difference alone was what got me. But the problem is this, and we've been bringing this up. Nylander's agent is going into the room, 40-goal scorer Nylander into the room at 26 years old.
But we looked it up last week. We're like the comparables. Like, there's only like, 2 other wingers making more than 10 mil. And like one of them was Huberdeau, who's like had a couple 100-point seasons.
Nylander's never had a 100-point season. I'm going to say that. So what he's going to get? What's he at now? 6.5?
Just a hair under 7.
A hair under 7. Okay, so he's going to get a bump. No doubt.
Oh, of course.
Okay.
I'd be a lot more comfortable if that number didn't begin with a 9 or a 10, though.
So what are you going to give him? You give him more years? More years at 8?
No, more years is going to raise the cap hit.
Oh, that's true, too. So what do? You front-end loaded, give him a signing bonus? I think it would be a mistake.
I think you might have to trade him. Because how many times... No. Because how many times can you run the same core into the ground and expect different results? Isn't that the definition of insanity?
No, because you did
Yes, it is!
But you changed some things. You got some grit.
Oh, you changed around the edges. They've been doing this since I've been a little kid, Cruz. Nothing's changed.
I love this.
Trade one of the big 4. And
I say one more shot.
Okay, then figure it out for this year. But
then I can have more fun. It's like I'm Stephen A. Smith with the Dallas Cowboys right now. That's how I look at the Toronto Maple Leafs. I'll have more fun next year.
Trade Nylander for a defenseman.
But you can't trade him for Carlson. I don't want Carlson. What defenseman in this league? You're not going to get Makar.
No.
Okay, so let's look around the league really quick. That guys would be available. Couple guys in Carolina. Interesting. Are they willing to give him up?
He's on the last year of his contract. It certainly looks like the door's open for him.
So what are you going to have to sign him for? He's still going to be a $6 million guy,
That's fine. It's not 10.
Okay, interesting. What's his age, too? He's under 30?
Yeah, he's like 20. Yeah, he's not that old.
No, exactly. Yeah. That's an interesting. That's him. That rolled off your tongue pretty quickly. So Nylander, I was talking to him just on Monday night when I took the day off. I was discussing how much I like Nylander more than Sundin. Okay, I'm that kind of guy.
No way.
What's that?
No way.
Yes, I did, and I'm saying why because.
Hey, you're entitled to that opinion. I'm saying it's a crazy ass opinion.
Okay, so here's what it is. Jimmy the Greek. If you don't know who Jimmy the Greek is, please come to Shuey's Bar and Grill on a Monday night. He is the best bartender around. He's been working at Leaf games since he was pretty well a teenager, and he's just a little younger than me. So he's down at Maple Leafs. He was there. He heard rumors about the kid shit. That's how long he's been working at the bars.
Kid shit.
You know when all that came up with the giving the hockey sticks and the diddling going on, and Ballard's upstairs, and the guys are doing the bad chapter in Maple Leaf life. He started way back then, In any event, I brought up the Nylander thing to him about what it is, and he said about coming in here, and I said the problem with Nylander to get him out of town is because when he comes into the thing and he's in his hope, most people think he's a rock star. And what do you do with that trail of girls that's following him when he's trying to get into the Scotiabank Arena? So is that going to affect his play in Toronto? Is that the word? He's got too many outside interests? I'm saying no. Sign the kid. Keep him here. I don't know what you're going to do.
Not for 10 mil.
Not for 10 mil. I don't know what you're going to do with that. I don't. I really don't. I think it's a scary situation to be in because unless
work the phones, Brad.
Okay,
you're new on the job. Prove why you got hired.
Okay, but isn't it interesting? We haven't got an Austin Matthews signing and we haven't got a Nylander signing.
It sounds like they want to do Nylander first. I think that's the problem.
Are you going to make Austin Matthews the highest paid player in the NHL?
I think that's going to happen.
He's not going to sign. I agree now. He will not sign for 8 years.
No, it's going to be a 5-year deal max.
Okay.
Which I think is probably the way to go if you're a player.
Oh, no.
Like, do you think McDavid's super stoked about signing 8 years with Edmonton? Probably not.
No, but when is his contract up? 2 more years he's got on it, right?
I believe he's got 3.
Which will bring him to 30, right? Or 29.
Yeah, he's got 3 years left in his contract.
So the agents have been talking to these guys, obviously, because
guess what? Take him to, 29 years old.
Yeah, so guess what? They're going to still say that's prime hockey years so you can get an extra bag. Because it seems to be that way, because that 8-year deal is you get too long. Not everybody's a Kopitar.
Nope.
That was a great contract. How many contracts work out that well? We've talked about this before.
And I love his new contract, too. So it sets the table for Tavares to make 7.5 on his next deal.
There you go. That makes all you Leaf fans happy. You know what I'm saying? Well, anyways, I'm
very... Cap space is the most valuable thing. Don't ever forget it.
I 100%. I just wanted to, before we go...
Actually, I just wanted to bring up one more thing about hockey.
It's good.
This NHL Hockey Canada investigation. We're expecting the news here any day now, basically.
What do you think are we going to...
I expect early August, so maybe a couple weeks.
What do you think they're going to be saying?
I think they're going to... Well, the names have to come out.
Oh, yeah. Okay, agreed. There's
going to be 7 or 8 players whose contracts are going to be immediately terminated.
Wow. You think there'll be that many? The contracts will be terminated.
Yeah.
They'll be, cause what else are you going to do?
Oh, no. There's a team that's a PR nightmare if you keep them. That's
not a
joke.
Thinking I know it is, and I shouldn't be laughing at it. Matter that serious. I'm just doing the PR thing because
that's how these guys think.
Oh yeah, no. And you know what? This is no laughing matter.
And that I think they did a little investigation about the 2003 team as well, which a lot of people forgot about.
Oh. Yeah,
I mean, a lot of those guys are kind of like already
gone, or out of the way. It's the next group, the 2018. Yeah, that crew.
The 2003. Just looking at their roster quickly, the only guy still in the league is Fleury.
Oh yeah, no, that's all gone. But the other roster, I think that shit's gonna hit the fan like we've never seen it before.
Oh, you go down that list. There's some names there. I'm not gonna name them.
No, because we don't want to be what would you call it, degrading anybody that doesn't get what they shouldn't deserve. It's got to go before. Anyways, I just want to say this before we go. This is very interesting that we've been able to fill the time in with somehow, some way we have pulled off the time. But every once in a while, I have this little thing that I would like to bring up that everyone should come to understanding. And as you all know, we're doing this show right now because we are sports fanatics. There is no doubt about it. But as we also brought up a couple of times, we were talking about and I really appreciate that the age difference between you and I, Andrew. That's irrelevant in the conversation. I just think it brings up a little bit of the old school and the new school.
Sure.
But what I want to get you to understand is way back in the day, when I moved to Toronto 40 years ago, it was fortunate that I grew up in South Windsor, so I had Detroit TV all the time. So we were exposed to having a full sports page. We had the great Al Ackerman. We had Mitch Albon writing contracts. We had guys like Tony Kornheiser who were coming on shows on weekends that we could see because it was the only sports that we had. Now you're awful spoiled because there's 20 shows on a day. There's 20 opinions going on during the day. There's a lot of BS going on. People getting fired, false takes and bringing it up. But what I want to get at for me personally is the integrity of the game and talking about a competition and not being afraid to have an opinion about it so people can broaden their understanding of what's going on. Which leads me to this. I want to say Sid the other morning stated it even better than I'm going to do right now, but we've just understood in the last couple of weeks that Bob McCowan has had a couple of strokes. We're hoping that his health is much better because 40 years ago when I moved here to Toronto, it was the first time that we seen at 11:30 at night on Global TV, some guy named Bob McCowan had a half an hour sports show. I get shivers thinking back about those days, how excited we were as young men. I was only 21, 22, and before I went to bed every night, Bob McCowan was on TV talking about the world of sports. This was like wide world of sports every night of the week. This was unheard of. What Bob McCowan has morphed into, of course, has been the voice of Toronto radio and the voice of talk radio. Mm-hmm. He started it in 1992. I did know that when Sid brought it up, and everybody aspires to be him. He's like the Mad Dog Russo of Canada, so to speak. And at times, I really believe that his takes on it were even better. One of his things is when he used to do the thing and he'd sit in the stadium and go, I got a lot of haters. I got enough room to bring them down. And his omnipresent sunglasses. I remember the younger days, you'd yell out to him at ball games. You would see him back in the day just walking up, always by himself, looking like he could be hanging out with Harry Callahan of some sort. But the main reason I'm bringing him up is this. Integrity is number one. Not being afraid to back up what you've got to say. And the famous time when Cito Gaston thought that some people were racist in the media, Bob Cowan went right to Cito's office, I heard right away, because Bob McCowan was extremely critical of Cito at the time. Right. And he wanted to know that Cito was doing some questionable things at the time. And I'm not saying that Cito used the race card, but when it came up and the prominent guys were there, I respected Bob McCowan going right to the source and saying, if you got something to say to me, come and say it to my face. So in any event, what I'm going to say is that for all sports things that we should do, if we aspire to do them as well as Bob McCowan, we will be better human beings. We will bring a better prospect to the games. And most importantly of all, we are wishing for a speedy and a healthy recovery. Bob McCowan, I hope you hear this because that's the gospel according to Cruz.
Cheers to Bob McCowan.
Cheers to Bob McCowan. In any event, like I said, anything else you want to bring up before we go?
I think that's about it, Cruz, and then...
I want to say that I tried to gear down on my singing. And we watched this show. Andrew has spoken more on this show than I think I've heard him spoke on a show in the last month. And we've did it on the deadest time of the year on the sports calendar.
There we go.
One thing I did want to bring up is this. I'm going to bring it up one more time when we're thinking about people and their health. Simone Biles, good luck next week. And I hope you inspire all the women in sports to get over health issues.
Not just women.
Oh, and men too. Just get over the issues. We're hoping to see you back to the competitive level we've seen before. Anything else?
I think that's about it.
Mina, I hope you have a baby boy. You can call him Cruz. And on that note, we want to thank you for listening to The House That Happens, where we keep tabs on the Habs. My name is Cruz.
And I'm Andrew Milani.
And always remember, we keep the vibe alive.